Old China is sliding into darkness, but what if a new China rose from the deserts of Central Asia? We are about to find out. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Nikto. Today's run was suggested by Logan Leahy. Thank you for your idea. If you enjoy the run, I would really appreciate if you like and subscribe. Today we are starting as a 400 point custom character, as I couldn't find a fitting character for our run. I've created this character as an adventurer who had a vision in his youth where the four prophets of Manichaeism, Zoroaster, Mani, Buddha and Jesus Christ, visited him in his dreams. They showed him a new land in the west where a golden kingdom shall rise to fight all darkness and evil on the world. Through his mother he descends from the Tang dynasty, while he himself is a bastard and, as we can see, is quite distantly related to the ruling family, but still he is of the same blood. To add our character as child of an existing character, I used the mod Be Someone's Child. The link is in the description. We are of the Mingist faith, which is spread a bit over here on the Chinese coast, so that's why we are starting out there. And it is a dualist faith, which means the fight between the Kingdom of Light and the Kingdom of Darkness is a central point of our religion. It is basically the Chinese version of Manichaeism. On his 16th birthday, our main character, Captain Li Zhongji, decided it is time to break with his old life and search for the land the prophets had shown him in his dreams. This place will be over here in Central Asia, north of the Persian Empire. Our travels will bring us to India, Egypt, Persia and finally Central Asia. This will take some time, however I will only show you the main events of this journey. While in India we have succeeded in our try to become an exalted warlord, and after traveling all the way to Palestine we have decided to write a book about all our travels. We of course have long fulfilled the requirements for that. If we wanted to choose that option, we could gain 5 lifestyle perks, but instead we want the artifact. The artifact will give all our future rulers plus 40% lifestyle experience. I will always recommend doing that if you are playing as an adventurer who will settle down. Oh yeah, and by the way, the Khazars have casually subjugated the Byzantines and the Arabian Empire. They are basically the rulers of the Mediterranean now, I guess. As we are now close to the end of our travels, I will finally start to recruit men-at-arms for us. We already got quite some army, but I'm thinking about another upgrade to it. Maybe some cavalry. Expensive, but we have massive boosts to men-at-arms recruitment costs. Our last decision before the invasion is to become the Champion of the Heart, which will give us the Champion Errant trait, and our house will get the Swansong house modifier. I was thinking about not doing it because we are of the house Li, which will not be our future house once we found our own, but the armor we are getting is actually way too nice, also getting some personal bonuses here. I think the armor alone is worth the decision, maybe not the best in stats, but it is a nice RP behind it. After 46 years on the road, the time has finally come to claim our kingdom. We are using the Kingdom Invasion CP for that, which is kinda tricky, but more on that later. We got no siege equipment at all, but we are still rushing down these castles. You know, if I was about to lose all of my kingdom, I would try to defend it, but we haven't seen their troops at all. I already mentioned that an adventure invasion is kinda tricky, and that's because the vassals of the realm may become independent based on their relationship to the old ruler, differences in culture, faith and opinion with the adventurer. As we are of a different culture, a different faith, and with that of course have a negative opinion of all the vassals in this realm, we have to expect many of them to become independent. Okay, let's see what we got. Not looking too bad. I would say we kept over 50% of the realm. Many of the titles are held by vassals, which hate us, of course. I will revoke that title soon, but first we need to reduce our men-at-arms as we are burning through our money, sadly. Alright, we successfully dealt with all our vassals and are now theoretically ready for external conquests and pick up all these bits we lost in the invasion. Looking at the special buildings map mode, we can see there are some special buildings around. If one of these buildings is missing for you, that's because we are playing with the Cities of Wonder mod, which will be linked down in the description. It adds some more special buildings all over the world. Our capital will be placed in Bukhara, which gives a dev growth in percentage and a fixed tick each month. We of course still have to conquer that. We also have the Shah-e Zinda over here, which can be upgraded for more dev growth. And we also have the Bazaar of Khiva, which is part of the Silk Road. I'm not sure how fast we are gonna conquer that, but it will become part of our personal domain when we are ready. There's also a fire temple up here, which we cannot use as it is not a holy site for us. But if you would play as a Zoroastrian, you could use that, as well as more fire temples down here possibly. But it still depends on your holy sites. Let's start our conquests. Also a quick note, parts of our future lands are steppe holdings, which we have to feudalize first. So that's gonna cost some money in the future. Okay, the conquests are done. I did not show you anything of it because there was nothing really interesting happening. If you would like to see more of the wars in this game, let me know down in the comments, but I think it's not too interesting unless there are real challenges. You may have also noticed that I renamed our kingdom. We are no longer Transoxiana, we are Anxi. Anxi is a historical term for the pacified West. I spent some time and have designed new COAs for all titles in our realm, and I've also synthesized all the title names in our realm up to county titles and main baronies. As you can see, we now have the Duchy of Oshirana, the Duchy of Hudal, and so on, and we are also now in the counties of Buhala instead of Bukhara in our main holding, and as you can see, we have done that for every holding or main holding at least in our realm, so it is matching our RP of a new Chinese realm a bit better. This only took about 30 minutes, so if you like the idea and the video so far, why don't you subscribe so you won't miss the next one. That's probably the realm size we will keep for a bit now. I want to culture and faith convert our own territory, stabilize our realm before we expand even more. Looking at our house, we are now House Mingde. What is going on with our son? Just ignore that, I guess. Okay, we are House Mingde. Mingde means something like Radiant Virtue, which I find quite fitting for our house. The first part of our COA means something like blessing, and the second little part means something like king. So this together means something like blessed kingship. Zooming out, I notice this world is cursed. What is going on here? The Balkan is up doing Balkan things. Germany is looking, I'd say, interesting, and also the Tang dynasty fell and we now have the Shu dynasty. I don't know what's going on, but I think we should absolutely focus back to our realm. The world will fix itself, guys. Surely. There are constantly nomad attacks on our realm. Most of them aren't too strong, like this one. 2.5k troops isn't much, and we always beat them, but they are still harassing us. We finally have a positive balance, which allows us to create new buildings here and there. I'm mostly going for dev growth building or economy buildings. We also have this mine over here in Badashan, which I didn't mention earlier because I did not see it, but this of course boosts our income as well. And with an age of 94 years, our first ruler, Mingde Zhongji, the bringer of peace, the light of the West, has finally died. Now it is upon his descendants to fulfill his dream. May he rest in peace. Our neighboring realm just split up, so we can pick up our missing de jure county or pick it up without a real fight. As this county directly borders our realm capital, I want to hold it myself and benefit from the death spread. The first province in our realm has been converted to the Han culture. Religion wise, we are of course already looking way better. The Ming's faith is spreading. We are only missing few provinces. I am really happy with our progress here. We had to fend off some more nomad incursions that did really hurt us at our gold. We are at a deficit of 1k now, so I guess we have to wait a bit until we are able to do something again. I just noticed our vassal of Feudal has tripled his territories, but it looks good, to be honest. For us, the time has come to create a new faith. The core idea here is that in the struggle of the kingdom of light and darkness, a golden kingdom shall be established on earth to fight the darkness and banish it from this world. And every life on this earth shall be born and raised to fight the darkness. As suggested, I have decided to pick up the communal identity tenant. Our faith and our culture are linked together. This of course slows down the conversion speed in counties that are not of our culture, but it speeds up the culture conversion in provinces of our faith. We keep esotericism and dharmic syncretism. With the dharmic syncretism, we acknowledge other dharmic faiths as servants of the light. Our faith will be called Zhongjiao after the founder of our new dynasty who has led us west. While he himself did never claim this title, his descendants proclaimed him to have been the fifth prophet after Mani. I of course created a little RP description for our Zhongji's faith. The fifth revelation sets loyalty and virtue as twin pillars. In the far west, Zhongji proclaimed, "A golden court shall rise, in which darkness shall be banished. Where children are born, the host of light grows." Doctrine-wise, we did change a few. We are going with the fundamentalist attitude and lay clergy. We still keep the spiritual head of faith, but he will be more like a realm priest, a high priest. In the marriage doctrines, I only changed the marriage type to concubines. I think that fits well, as we already have concubines through our culture. And I changed both adulteries to accepted, because every life that is born to fight the evil is fully welcome, and it doesn't matter if it's through marriage or outside of it. Deviancy and same-sex relations, on the other hand, stay shunned, as they can't produce human life. And in the clergy doctrines, I once again only changed clerical appointment to temporal revocable, so we can appoint lay clergy to this position. As icon, we select a golden flame, as we are the fighters for the light. Only 8 vessels will convert, doesn't matter to us, they will convert later on, or we will make them pay for it. We have a good chance of converting both of our larger vessels that denied the conversion initially, so let's do that real quick. Giving him a hook for that is fine for me, so we have that out of the way. Next thing on the list is a divergence culture. I know this was supposed to be a Han culture, but we will stay a Han culture. That's why we are not gonna hybridize with any of the existing cultures over here. But the cult machinations is totally wasted for us, as only rulers of the hegemony tier can have up to 20 concubines, and 3 concubines are already available through our faith. Also, the eunuch and intrigue system is no longer needed in the Golden Kingdom, as we have no place for intrigues here. We are also gonna get rid of the intensive farming tradition, as the death growth in farmlands and terraced hills are totally wasted for us. Instead, we will pick up the dryland dwellers for dryland and desert development growth. we are gonna be known as the Anxi Han. So as you can see, we are still Han. I think it's also pretty realistic that some things simply change if you live in the drylands and deserts for multiple generations. As new ethos, we are gonna pick up bureaucratic. And we are gonna pick up the garden architect's tradition for the death growth, and I think it's a cool idea that we are cultivating gardens where only drylands existed before. All other traditions are gonna stay unchanged, and all of our vessels will convert. The Anxi Han divergence is real, and we start with one county of our culture. That's really a way to go. Our final goal is to unite these three kingdoms, Anxi, Syudaria and Ogusil, and convert all of them to our faith and our culture. As we have the bureaucratic ethos, we can pick up centralized bureaucracy even while being a king. As we are a divergent culture of the Han Chinese, we can pick up the celestial and meritocratic bureaucracies, not only the administrative. We of course want the celestial option. I mean, we after all have a divine mission. A new era. Yes, we have become bureaucratic. There seems to be a little problem with our income since we converted, and I'm not sure what's going on. Our holdings are still performing normal, I'd say. Okay, I found out what the problem is. We are sending most of our income directly to the treasury, and as our income is not high enough to cover that, we are having a deficit in gold while our treasury is still growing. I'm not yet sure how to fix that, but at least I found out what the problem is. We of course also now have a domicile, which we could expand, but we of course need money for that. I think I found a solution for our money problems. We need to destroy some of our men-at-arms, as we can't pay them with gold anymore, and instead we can raise provincial armies which are gonna be paid in treasury. That makes sense. I wish I looked out for that earlier, before we were about 200 gold in debt, but hey, I guess that's on me. After drastically reducing our men-at-arms, we are at a positive balance once again. And to get out of the debt, we can try to steal our own treasury, which will convert 25 treasury into gold per month. There is a chance of getting busted, of course, but as it is our treasury, it doesn't matter. Just a few months later, we are out of debt and can finally start investing into our domicile. We will go for dev growth and income buildings once again. And we can also consecrate our bloodline. We get the trade paragon. The real paragon, of course, was our founding father, but I will take that. Conversion wise, we are making good progress. We are using our own court chaplain for that, but I'm also working with vessel directives. And we also keep upgrading all our directly owned holdings. Culture wise, progress is slower, but it can be seen. We can start the construction of a duchy building in Buhala. We will choose the examination hall, which gives the death growth bonuses, just like the royal reserves, but it also gives boosts to influence, merit and lifestyle experience to us. I feel like the world is getting worse. We have an Abbasid descendant in Mesopotamia who is an Armenian apostolic. We also have a Mashriki apostolic over here. And down here we have a Mongol Tengri, of course, ruling a bit of lands in Persia. The faith and culture conversions have progressed very well in the last years. I guess we can slowly think about expanding our realm once again. I have rebuilt our lost forces, this time paying in treasury though. It seems we have lost the Holy War CB, and I don't know why. After 3k hours of game time, this game still surprises me sometimes. But we are going in with claims then. Some easy victories later, we have gained few new provinces, which we of course have to feudalize. But we can now feudalize with treasury. That is OP, as we are making 70 treasury now, and this is basically for free. That's a cheat code. I've conquered some de jure territories over here in the west. Next one are these de jure territories up to the north of Khiva. This, if you remember, is where the Silk Road market is located at, which we want to control ourselves. The Upptala Kingdom has declared war on us. Let's see, oh, he's down here at our border. He wants the province of Badashan. We can't let him win that. Oh, he split his troops for sieging purposes, so that's our chance. And we are crushing them, of course. There's also a nomadic uprising in the west we are defending against. So we are fighting a two-front war, but to be honest, paying mercs in treasury is, as I said earlier, a cheat code, as everything that is dependent on treasury. Oh, the war was invalidated. We nearly won that. But okay, I guess we are good. I had a cool idea, let's see if that works. I want to grant land to our head of faith and vassalize her then. Okay, can we vassalize you? A quick recalculation later, we can vassalize her. Great. She has accepted and is now truly our high priest, as initially planned. We are at 2k gold and 4k treasury. I think we have the economy to fund new holdings all over our new realm, so that they may boost our development, please. The Hamdan Malikate just won a holy war against the Mongol rulers in Central Persia, and the Apostolics are now the true new lords of Persia. Meanwhile, in Anxi, we are about to conquer our way to the northern Khazar steppes. And we have gathered enough influence to upgrade our house aspiration to the level 5, which will give us plus 20% domicile income. That's amazing, as most of our profit comes from our domicile. Another conquest attempt from these steppes, but this one seems to be very strong, to be honest. And by the way, I'm also on a regular base developing communities, which gives plus 10% dev growth for 10 years in a chosen duchy. So the game says we would lose a direct battle with the invaders. Why don't we use our almighty treasury to recruit 2 mercenary companies? Yeah, they are running and we caught them. And 2 of 2 done. Let's give them a white piece. I don't want to drag that out any longer. I want instead to go on the offensive. Our next goal is to have enough counties to create the Kingdom of Ogusil. Civilization is being spread into our newly acquired territories. As you can see, faith and culture conversions are going great. 6 new counties have been acquired. That allows us to finally create the Kingdom of Ogusil, which we can then use to declare de jure CBs for the rest of the lands that are missing. What do you think? I've been active on the Western Front, and I've decided to not conquer these missing 2 provinces up here in the north. I think it looks better like it is. We will only need to conquer Gurganji now, and then we've acquired all the territories we want. Meanwhile, someone has clearly set the Apostolics to do their own RP run. Friends, we have done it. The last war is won. We have successfully claimed Gurganji, and with that we have conquered all the territories we want for our final state. Now it is time for maximum boost on conversions. I finished in Holy Legend, which allows us to evangelize the realm. And we have only 3 provinces left that are not of our faith now. We still have a way to go for the culture conversions, but I've switched all vessels to the culture conversion directive. We can upgrade our special building in Samarkand now, which will give a dev growth in percentage and on a regular base per month. It's all about a big mausoleum which fits perfectly as it is a holy site for us, and I've been burying our rulers there for generations. Title integration is finished, which if we look on the map and let the game run for a day, we can see that we have completely integrated the duchies down here, which our vassals once conquered, into the kingdom of Anxi. So we can now found a new empire. This has been available for quite some time, but I wanted to wait for the title integration first. But now it is time. Imperial recognition. A realm reforged. Here we are. The only thing that is a bit sad is that we are called Emperor and not Wang Di, which I think is a bit lame. I will fix that in a moment. Looking on the Empire map mode, the Empire of Anxi looks really good for me. I'm happy that we chose this place to settle. We are back. I've changed a few things. First one is the most obvious, of course. I've renamed our realm to the Great Anxi. I've decided that the time has come that we truly claim the mandate of heaven and the celestial emperorship and proclaim the new Great Anxi dynasty. Our COA shows on the right side again the blessing and on the left side great, so our sigil means great blessing. The next changes are for our realm itself, as I've once again renamed all provinces and duchies in our realm to a more syncized version of itself. Our last change is for our ruler titles. I've used the mod Simple Manager, Custom Address and Nickname and House to change our ruler flavors. We have become the Huang Di and our wife a Huang Hu, while our children are Imperial Princes and Imperial Princesses. I've copied all of those, of course, from the Chinese hegemony. This mod and all other used mods are linked down in the description. To bolster our defenses, I am recruiting fire lancers to our army, bringing gunpowder warfare to Central Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the Golden Kingdom of the Great Anxi dynasty, currently ruled under Wang Di Mingdi Nanjin, fully converted to the Zhongjiist faith and the Anxi Han culture. We have done it. For all intents and purposes, we have formed a new China in Central Asia. Looking at the development map mode, we can see that our capital Bukhara is at 97 development at the moment because we had a plague a few years ago, but we have easily created one of the most developed regions in the world. The year is 1134 and we have played for 267 years. Looking at our lineage, we can see all our rulers have become quite old. Starting of course with the legendary Mingde Zhongji, the prophet of the Zhongjiist faith. Having a quick look at our domain, we can see we have maxed out every of our economy buildings in all of our holdings. Same goes for our estate, where we have maxed out every building slot that is available to us, resulting in 11k gold and nearly 13k treasury at the moment. The Great Anxi dynasty and the Golden Kingdom are ready to lead humanity in the fight against darkness. But this is where we are gonna leave it. I hope you liked the video, and if so, please consider commenting, liking and subscribing. Viewer suggested videos are gonna be a permanent part of this channel, so if you got an idea, drop them down in the comments. I read them all. There are more stories to be told, so I hope to see you in the next one.